Hello, everyone. Welcome to the FPL Trio team review. This is game week 19. We couldn't record our team review for game week 18 as it was quite short turnaround, but we are back for game week 19. And as usual, finally, we are joined by Daniel as well. Last time, Daniel, you were missing. So good to have you back. And Michael. So, Daniel, let's start with you. How's it going?
It's going great, Pulkit. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy to be back here. I had some family stuff. Everyone's here over the holidays. But yeah, glad to be back. And what about you, Michael? How are you?
Yeah, going pretty good. So yeah, happy new year, everyone. Hopefully the holidays are treating you all well. But yeah, very good here. Just watching EPL and spending a lot of good family time. So yeah, very happy to be back. How about you, Pulkit?
Yeah, good for me as well. I have family over here in Singapore from India. So, yeah, some good get together time and enjoying the holidays. All right, then let's start with a team review. So, as always, we start with you, Daniel.
Sounds good. Yeah, another super small red arrow. The biggest mistake of the game week was not captaining Salah. I thought I'd go differential because I was like around 2.6 million, so I had a lot of ground to catch up. But ultimately, Palmer blank, Chelsea lost 2-0 to Ipswich, which was like, and Salah got 16 points, even though I owned him. The red arrows only because of him, because almost everyone else in my team actually returned. Actually, the defense not as much. Raya and Gabriel, they both conceded at the beginning of the game to they both blank. Robinson got an assist, which was good to see. Dalo blanked again. I'm gonna have to catch him out swing. He's not doing well. And then midfield and forwards, everyone returned but my captain, Rogers with 11, which was a great sight to see to people who held on to him. Palmer, the disappointment of the week, he blanked. Kulusevski got an assist, also dangerous as well. I'm matching with my team. And then Salah, obviously, got two assists and a goal, I think, 16 points with two bonus. And then front three all returned, so that was great. Isaac with a goal, Pedro with two returns, and Evan Wilson with a goal as well. So finally, it's good to see that they're returning. Pedro and Evan Wilson, I think, have blanked for like the past 5, 6 game weeks in a row. So it's nice to finally have the return. And on the bench, Bruno was suspended, obviously, and then unlike Greaves got 6 points versus Chelsea, he got a clean sheet, and then Rico Lewis also got 6 points. In hindsight, obviously, I should have started Rico Lewis over maybe Dalot, but I just it was a short turnaround. It was a hectic holiday period. We're not fully into FPL, so yeah. Again, super small green arrow. I think about 170k, 150k, but yeah, we move.
I mean, with Rico Lewis, I did start Rico Lewis and against Leicester. The game on paper it was easy, but I watched that match and I'd say City were very, very lucky to keep the clean sheet.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it as well. Last year, we're looking very attacking.
Yeah.
Vardy had some nice chances. There were a lot of misses, but yeah, well, I mean, City have been conceding to every single team so far. So somehow it's good to see Lewis with the return finally.
Yeah, exactly. And with Palmer, of course, like I don't know what's wrong with Chelsea. Like dropping points against Fulham and Everton, it's still conceivable because Fulham has been on this great form and Everton defensively has just turned masterclass in the recent weeks. But against Ipswich, losing 2-0, that's a bit like no one would have anticipated that.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
Any-
having Ipswich go one goal, that's fine. But Ipswich not conceding any goals, yeah, it's like once in only a handful of games.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Pulkit, you were saying that Ipswich are better defensively away from home, and that was a home game. So them getting a clean sheet and the 2-0 victory versus Chelsea, that's remarkable. I mean, that might kickstart their season, if they can gain some momentum, in the second half, and it should be interesting to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. Even the numbers that I shared with you, they were basically last six. So I assumed, I didn't check it, but I assumed that maybe the last few fixtures were easier because over the season, they have been alright. So yeah, I think at this point, these relegation teams would try to push a bit more. So we have to look out for these teams like Southampton turning around that corner, maybe, or Leicester even.
Yeah,
Let's look at your bus team.
All right, so my bus team, I have two free transfers. I rolled last week. I wanted to get Jackson. I didn't, thankfully. Rodgers is suspended, unfortunately, so he's on the bench. And then, as of now, at least, the only change is Rico Lewis in for Dalot, and then Bruno was suspended and for the suspended Rodgers. Captaincy is currently on Salah, but I think, I mean, I told you guys in our group chat, I have enough funds to either upgrade Evan Wilson to Nicholas Jackson or Pedro to Solanke. But as I mentioned, I mean, Spurs and Chelsea, I think they've been winless in like their last two or three each team. So I don't know how good of a transfer that would be. I was planning on benching Pedro versus Arsenal and then playing Rodgers, but he had to pick up a yellow card for some reason. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind rolling, honestly. I don't see any standout transfer option this week. There's Wood with Forest. But I could do without him. Oh, actually, I just remembered. One transfer I was thinking about is removing Dalot and getting one of the Forest defenders. I don't know if it's too late. For now, I have to double check the fixtures. I know, Michael, you've been benefiting from them for like what, 3, 4 game week, getting double digits every week. I know. So yeah, that's my plan right now.
Yeah. Glad you brought up this point on Forest defender. Like just before we started the recording, I was actually asking Michael because I am even considering doubling up on the difference because they have been really good and second in the table after like 19 games. That's something no one would have seen in the
Yeah.
start of the
Yeah.
season.
Who are they playing now?
Yeah, Wolves
What?
this week, and Wolves doesn't have Cunha. So, I mean, that's a very good game for them to keep a clean sheet and attack quite well.
True. Yeah, maybe something I could do. I'm thinking about it now, like, as you speak, is like get in one of the defenders for Dalot and then like play him over Joe Pedro. Uh,
And I
kind
was
of form,
speaking to
but
Pulkit. No, sorry, go on. My bad.
no, no, but yeah, there you go.
No, I was gonna say I was speaking to Pulkit before, and Nottingham Forest has a very good fixture for the next 5 game weeks. Only Liverpool is the hardest game, and that's apart from that, they should be able to keep a clean sheet.
I agreed with that. Can you just tell us the fixtures?
Yes, so
Them.
let me just get them up now. So they have Wolves, Fulham, Southampton, Bournemouth, Brighton, and Fulham after that.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
okay.
mean,
They
it's
don't have
pretty good
Liverpool.
fixtures there. Sorry?
They don't have Liverpool.
Liverpool on the 15th of January.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, no, sure. Yeah, no, it's a pretty good run. I mean, I would say they are like a team to get assets from to target in the next few game weeks for sure.
And even like they have game week 21 Liverpool, which is like technically a hard fixture, but we should remember that Liverpool lost to only one team in this,
Right.
Right.
and that's what it's.
And this is a
They,
home
they
game,
lost
so
at
they're
home,
probably
right? Was it
yeah,
away?
Liverpool lost at home, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're going to be more hyped up for us to win at home and get the double of the season.
No, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
All right, looks good. And regarding the captaincy, are you set or you are considering other?
I think I'm set on Salah. I mean, United have been awful these past few games, and I don't see any other like standout fixture. I mean, maybe Bournemouth versus Palace, but I think Salah would be a much better option. Honestly, I don't think that's too big to go against the crowd.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. Like standout doesn't seem this week. Maybe Isaac comes close or Haaland for City, but yeah, Salah against United is another level. So it's definitely going to be tough for his.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at your team, Michael.
Yeah. So it was a very mixed bag this week. And I went down in rank, but it was a very, very small red arrow. I was just rechecking it and I only went down about 30,000 ranks. So I was up a little bit at the start, but then the Arsenal game just took it all off. My defense, Henderson and Munoz, they blanked, but thankfully Aina and Robertson got some sort of return. In my midfield, I did have Palmer as my captain until the last day when I changed it to Salah. And thankfully, I did make that change. Salah getting another ball somehow and passing the 200 points mark back for the new year, which is insane. I finally got a return. Kudus got the 2, but he's probably going to be in my team for 1 more week after this. And in my forwards, thankfully, Pedro got a return. I was kicking myself last week when I saw Cunha instead. But yeah, thankfully that happened. And Isaac got 7 and Jackson, yeah, benched and Chelsea lost against Ipswich. So, and then my bench, basically, if I swap my bench with my entire defense except for Ida, I would have got a much better score.
Yeah, I think this week a lot of bench scores are roaming around. Like all three of us have bench scores. So that says something.
Yeah.
And especially with Greaves. Like Greaves hadn't been starting so far for Ipswich, and he starts and gets this clean sheet 6 point.
Yeah, for sure.
And with Munoz, I think Michael, we discussed a lot about him. And
Yeah.
it's
Let's
very
just
unfortunate that
say, yeah,
you got this blank because I saw he's probably one of the most underperformers for this week, like 0.55 or something XG. He had a basically goal chance with a XG of 0.42 or something. So I think he
yeah,
will return good. And I'll discuss it with you when I discuss my transfer plans as well. There's similarity with you as well, Daniel. So let's get to it when I share my bus team. But for now, let's
yeah.
look at your bus team, Michael.
Yeah. So this is my bus team currently, where there's not too much change in the team. My defense is basically the same, except I have Sells as goalkeeper instead of Henderson. Reason for that is because Wolves doesn't have Cunha, so they only have Larson there, but without good service from the midfield and Cunha, I don't really think Wolves would score a goal or two. In my midfield, it's basically the same. Salah is going to be my captain, basically because of his ridiculous scoring run against Man United. And in my forwards, it's the same as last week, but that may change. Pedro might come out and I might put Bruno in there. Uh, hopefully, but I'll see how it goes later on. And then Davis and Greaves, even though they scored points last week, I'm still going to put them on the bench.
Yeah. You you, you want to play Kudus over Bruno? You think he might get one versus City?
I'm still having that thinking that Man City might
Yeah.
leak a goal or two. And West Ham, I mean, they have Pickett, Kudus, and Bowen as good attackers. I mean, it's a little bit better than Leicester, so I'm assuming they can score a goal or two.
Yeah.
Makes sense, sure.
Actually, before you ask the question, Daniel, I was going to ask, is Kudus also a captaincy option? City?
We've been there already. Yeah. So if you wanna, I mean, RC is still the worst defense. They got a clean sheet last game. I don't know if you run the numbers yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they are the worst one. I don't think so, but I don't know it from the top of my head.
Oh, it's shit. This is
Yeah, I mean, if someone out there in the FPL community wants to take a punt on Kudus and he just won the hat trick, that would be perfect.
I think Kudus doesn't give that captaincy vibe. Maybe if someone had Bowen, that would be a great differential just because of how bad City has been. And even again, Leicester, like even though they got the clean sheet, like if you watch the match, like Leicester were all over them.
And Daniel, how do you think Arsenal will go against Brighton away? Do you think they'll leak a goal too, or be more cohesive?
I mean, I hope not. Uh, Also, the first loss we got this year, I think was the first time we dropped points was against Brighton when Rice got sent off.
Yeah.
Uh, but no, I mean, I didn't watch the game. I just saw some highlights yesterday. But Arsenal were playing work really well. So So yeah, no, I mean, I'm still gonna start my double Arsenal. Hopefully, Pedro will blank. I also have him, but I'm gonna probably bench him. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I was seeing some numbers. I think Arsenal have conceded like 7 or 8 goals or something like that in the last 8 or 9 games from maybe around 0.98 or something XG. So
Total?
that's like crazy numbers. Like even in the last match, I was watching the match. Like till that time Brentford scored, the possession was something around 4% Arsenal and in percent Brentford. So Brentford were not at all in the game. And then Bumo got this chance and he cleverly scored the goal at the near post. Like it was quite brilliant from him to score the goal in that way. But yeah,
Yeah. Did you see Raya's mistake that almost like made it 2-0?
yeah.
And then Arsenal scored directly after.
Yeah. I mean, it was Raya's mistake at first, but then it was Raya's superb dive and
Yeah.
save also to stop the goal. Right, then let's look at my team. Got in cells for Flecken because Flecken had that injury, though basically it turned out it was not big of an injury as for Fabianski, for example, and he came back in. But I'm still glad. I just wouldn't have done the goalkeeper transfer, but this injury pushed me towards doing it, and now I have the clean sheet with Forest and Emma Forest defender in place, which is good. Gabriel and Timber, double Arsenal defense, not having the clean sheet, not good. But as we just talked about it, like Arsenal's defensive numbers are so good that you can't be away from Arsenal defense. So it would be tricky. I am thinking about going to single defense, but I have to think a bit hard about it. And then Lewis, like unexpected clean sheet, but it's welcome. I did had to play him. Like Leicester is probably one of the easiest fixtures. So before the deadline, we got some sort of idea that he may start, and I just wanted to roll with him. Then Palmer, Salah, Sar, and Semenyo in midfield. I had always made my mind to captain Haaland, so Salah not the captain, even though it was close. But I still think if I didn't have Haaland, there was a strong chance I might have also captain Palmer just because of the ranks we have at the moment. Like we have to push somewhere, and Salah seemed like the most famous captain. I thought I would never point like any games from it. But Salah is like being like unbelievable. In 18 games, 200 plus points. I don't know where he would end, but it's getting very hard to basically go against him. Then Semenyo got an assist, 5 pointer. It was good. Sar got in this week. I think he also had a decent chance, was almost 1-on-1, couldn't score, and then also could have got an assist. So it's good to have him in place as well. Though I think it's close between Eze and Sar, like for people who are looking at buying someone from Palace now. But the money that you can save can make a bit of a difference, especially that now soon we'll have this assistant manager chip active. So we need to think about how we can get the money for the manager as well. Then Haaland, thank God, at least he didn't blank. 8 points from him. But this is the run for which I have been keeping Haaland. So let's see how much he can return from there. And then looking forward to get rid of him. And Jesus, it was good to have this pointer from Gabriel Jesus. Like I think last week also. So with Jesus, I think he scored like 5 goals in the 2 games. One was a midweek league game or something. Then he scored 2 goals. Then last week he had basically an offside goal, and again this week he scored. So he's basically on fire, like at the moment. And of course, you expect Jesus to shine around Christmas, anyways. I had to put this joke in there. So, and then Jao Pedro also good to have with some returns from him because he hasn't got any returns since the time the community like jumped on him and he became a bit famous. He had been blanking almost. So good to get those double assist return from him. Then, as I mentioned about the bench points, almost all of us have bench points. So I have Dibbling and Greaves with 8 and 6. Dibbling with a goal, quite surprising, but it is how it is. At least good to have people with points in squad than not have them at all. And then a very small red arrow. We move on.
Yeah, what was your initial rank before that?
Actually, it was quite close. Like it was somewhere around 2.5 million, and afterwards it was 2.54 or something. So hardly a change.
So Gabriel Jesus put you back where you were.
Exactly.
He got a goal and an assist, right? I mean, the three
Yeah,
bonus.
yeah.
Yes,
Like,
pretty good. I mean, we all had our forward lines basically returning everyone.
yeah. And I was actually looking forward to this. Like having three Arsenal players this week was a bit of a nightmare because we had to wait like 2 days before we got the Arsenal game. So, but then it was good to see Jesus return, though a clean sheet would have been an even amazing thing. All right. Then looking at my first team now. So not much change. I have pulled in Castagna because, of course, he's facing Ipswich. So now I have to think about it. It's really that easy of a fixture because they just won against Chelsea. And Timber is on the bench just because he is suspended, collected the 5 yellow cards. If he hadn't got this yellow card this week, he might have delayed it a lot longer because now team like have already played 19 games except Liverpool and Everton. So players have to get like 10 yellow cards for them to be suspended. Then Palmer, Salah, Semenyo, Sarr in midfield, and again going against the crowd. This one actually is a bit more risky than even last week because United against Salah, like this is a frightening bit, but I have kept Haaland for a reason. And if I can't captain him against West Ham as well, who also looked horrible last week. Like Liverpool won 5-0, and I think Fabianski is still not bad. They still have those injury problems. So I think I'll back Haaland again. This week, the captaining Haaland and Gabriel Jesus and Pedro in the forward line. Now, there's this interesting thing I'd like to share with you guys on this Pedro bit. So before I was preparing the slide for the call, I had Pedro on bench and Timber in, and I was planning to do this transfer from Timber to either a Forest defender or Munoz. And then I saw your busting, both of yours, and saw that you have Pedro in. So I thought maybe if you guys have so much trust on Pedro, I should also do this and put him in.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna bench him honestly. If I get that Forest defender, and I'm an Arsenal fan, so I'm not gonna back them to concede. He's probably gonna be my first bench.
Yeah, for me, it's because I have a lack of better players on my bench in Davis and Greaves. So I most likely will just keep Pedro in there. Whether he gets 2 or 9, I'm happy with the score.
Yeah. Yeah, for me also, like at first I was quite sure that I'd bench Pedro and then to Timber to Munoz and or Milinkovic because I'm thinking about doubling up on Forest defense. Then next week Rico Lewis to Munoz because Crystal Palace play Chelsea this week, but from next week their easy run starts. But I don't know now if Chelsea is part of that quick easy run or not. Uh, there is a slight chance I might roll because as soon as I do that defender transfer, I have to make a decision about whether to like bench Pedro or someone else. It could also be Semenyo maybe because Everton defensively has been good. So there is a slight chance that I might just roll in order to avoid that bench change.
Makes sense. But if you do get a Forest defender, there's one I've been looking at. He's the cheapest of the bunch. Nico Williams.
Yeah.
He's 4.3 right now, and he played 90 minutes and 90, 90, 90, 90, 81 minutes in his last 5 games. And he's like a million almost cheaper than Aina. I think that's who I'm gonna go for. If you wanna have a look as well.
Yeah, I can have a look at
I don't think he's the most nailed because of like his history. At times he wasn't playing, but he might be the person I pick instead of Dallo.
Yeah. I'm actually looking at Milinkovic.
Yeah, he was my second choice. I'm like,
cheaper
But I was
than
like, if William is 0.4 cheaper, why don't I just get him and then no one owns him? So might as well, you know.
yeah. So for me, if I sell Timber, then the defender I'll be getting would be my third choice. And then if Nico Williams is not that nailed, I'm familiar with Nico Williams because he was a Liverpool player before. So at some point he was also considered this trend like backup. So he's definitely a bit attacking and goes forward. I'm not too sure what his role is in Forest, but yeah, good comes. I can take.
Makes sense.
All right, then I guess we discussed most things. Would you say like Salah is pretty much one of the best captaincy options this week? Is there any other option? Maybe some player that we don't own?
So I'm trying to think. I mean, as you said, Haaland is a pretty good shout if City can replicate Liverpool's score against West Ham. But again, as you also mentioned, Salah, his record versus United is phenomenal, right?
Yeah,
So, I mean, if you have him, unless you want to go defensive to like make up some ground, I'm not even sure if this is the week to go for. I mean, unless obviously you'll maybe on Haaland. But other than those two, I can't think of anyone else who would be like a standard option. What do you think, Michael?
I mean, apart from like Salah, Haaland, Palmer, those three, I think Isak might have a good shot this week against Tottenham. But apart from that, I mean, if we really want to go very differential, Chris Wood might be someone, especially when they're playing against Wolves. But that is away from home, so that might be too far out there as a captaincy choice.
yeah. I think Isaac is actually a good shot because I think Tottenham still has those defensive issues.
Yeah.
Like both their centre backs are out. I think other like Dragosin, I'm also not sure if he is fit or not. He came back and was able to play the last game, but their defensive struggles are like too bad. And Newcastle are doing amazing. Like they are on a great upward trajectory. So
I
I
think they've
think,
had like 3 or 4 clean sheets in a row, right? Newcastle.
yeah, yeah,
People who own Lewis Hall have been feasting as of late.
yeah.
And speaking of United, I mean, I'm sure you guys heard, but did you see like when Amorim said that like they're in a relegation battle? So that's not good
Yeah, I
news
saw
to
that.
hear
Yeah.
for Arab supporters. So yeah, they're definitely a team to target.
Yeah, true, true. And by the way, since you mentioned Lewis Hall, I think we talked about defender replacements in Forest defender or Munoz. Maybe Lewis Hall is also a good chance.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm just gonna have a look to see if Newcastle have a good run. Lewis Hall. Uh, my my website is bugging. But yeah, I mean, if Newcastle keep up that good form, and I mean, Lewis Hall is what averaging almost an assist per game in his last few games. So and the clean sheet that's double digits already. So he's definitely someone to have a look at.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you're
basically,
not going for his defender.
yeah, I just looked at their fixtures. So they have Spurs away in 20, then they have Wolves at home, Bournemouth at home, Southampton away, Fulham at home.
That's a great run.
So yeah,
So now
but
you're making me double doubt myself.
Lewis Hall is already 4.8 million. I didn't realize that.
He's rising all the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
Lewis Hall is he rising soon? I don't see it. But yeah, he's also a great option. I would say him and Laporte defenders are like the two most appealing options in the next couple game weeks.
Yeah. All right. Then I guess we discussed our teams, discussed some transfer plans. I hope you guys like watching it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much.